Subscribe to our YouTube channel and press the bell icon to get the latest updates.
The Prince YouTube membership is now open. You can take membership for just Rs 159 a month and earn exclusive perks, including early access to some of our most important video properties. In today's episode of Politics, which is my weekly column, let's talk a little bit about what divesting Smriti Irani of one portfolio in the Narendra Modi recent cabinet reshuffle tells us about the PM's human resource management skills. Well, this has been one aspect which has not really been written about too much, not really been talked about too much. There are various aspects of this reshuffle, the new faces that came in, the big ministers who were dropped, that has been talked about, that have been talked about. But Smriti Irani is not been the big news of this reshuffle, and yet she is perhaps the most pertinent point of this reshuffle. And I say this because the way her career graph has progressed in this government is a direct insight, is a direct reflection of Prime Minister Narendra Modi's abilities, skills, manage human resources. Smriti Irani, of course, we know was in charge of both the Women and Child Development Ministry as well as the Textiles Ministry. In this reshuffle, the Textiles Ministry was taken away from her and given to Piyush Goyal. So now she has just the WCD Ministry. Now, Smriti Irani in 2019 delivered the big win to the BJP in the form of Amethi. She actually defeated a Gandhi in his own home turf. That was a big win. Everybody knows Smriti Irani became the giant slayer with that win, and she was expected to be rewarded when the Modi government came back to power for a second term. But the fact that she got portfolios like WCD and Textile, which are considered to be less meaty, and the fact that now textiles has been taken away from her is a bit jarring, and perhaps it is her dismal run as minister in the first term of the Modi government that explains this. But it's also unfair on Smriti Irani, someone who delivered such a big win to you and someone who over the past 2 years has given you no real reason to complain, has stayed away from controversies, has kept her head low and worked quietly. Being divested of a portfolio seems a bit odd. Just go back a little bit to Smriti Irani's career graph and we'll understand why Modi has been all wrong in terms of how he has planned it and how it has panned out. In 2014, when Smriti Irani was an amateur, when she did not know governance or administration, she was given charge of the very important Human Resource Development Ministry. That's a very, very important ministry. It's a very, very complex ministry to handle if you don't have any administrative experience. We know the Human Resource Development Ministry, now the Education Ministry, has been held by senior politicians in the past. Smriti Irani at that point had no big political wins to boast of either. So it was a big surprise that she was given the HRD ministry. It almost seemed like she was being set up for failure, and fail she did, because her stint in the HRD ministry was so tumultuous, was so turbulent that she was soon enough divested of that ministry in the middle of 2016. Middle of 2017, she was given the INB ministry, but then controversies followed her there as well. And then she was divested of that portfolio too. Now, that point, Smriti Irani was not ready for these portfolios. It's very evident with the way she functioned. If you look at her stint in the HRD ministry, whether it's her I went to Yale remark, or whether it's a fake degrees controversy, or whether it's controversies with senior academics resigning, the Sanskrit German controversy in Kendriya Vidyalaya is a good governance day controversy. There is no end to the controversies that Smriti Irani quoted. She single-handedly brought the government bad press. She single-handedly brought the government bad publicity and was rightly shown the door at that point because it was clearly a ministry she was unable to handle. However, since then a lot has changed. Now, Smriti Irani's rise in politics was very sharp. She was someone in 2000 who was a Modi beta about the 2002 riots, and then she went on to become the national president of the BJP's Mahila Morcha. She went on to become a Rajya Sabha member from Gujarat and then a union minister. So that was a very sharp, steep rise, but her fall was equally steep. And as I said, with these two ministries, when she failed to deliver, when she quoted controversies, when she was high-handed with bureaucrats, with journalists, she was removed from both these important portfolios. And that reeked of Smriti Irani's amateur status as an administrator and as a politician. But 2019 changed it all. In 2019, when the BJP was preparing for the next Lok Sabha election, Smriti Irani was all but written off. But Amethi changed that. She became the giant slayer. That's a win that the BJP can boast of, can wear as a medal for decades to come. Defeating a Gandhi in Amethi is no mean feat by someone as young as Smriti Irani, by someone who's as new to politics as Smriti Irani. And as I mentioned, since then, she has been, she was given these two portfolios. She's been quiet. She's worked tirelessly. And without making much noise, no controversies have come her way, which is not a mean feat, by the way. In this government, several ministers have quoted controversy, whether it's Nirmala Sitharaman's "I don't eat onions" remarks, which was a very flippant remark for a finance minister to make when it came to rising prices of onions, or whether it's Anurag Thakur's Goli Maro sloganeering, or of course Ravi Shankar Prasad's face-off with Twitter. There have been ministers who've been involved in controversy. Some of them have been dropped, some have been rewarded. Anurag Thakur is a case in point of reward. So there is no reason why Smriti Irani, was not promoted, and more importantly, was divested of a portfolio. Now, sure enough, many can say that Smriti Irani's performance in the last 2 years perhaps has been no great shakes, nothing to write home about. But really, that's true for most ministers in the Modi government. The poor HR, the poor bench strength of the government is something that everybody's talked out, that I have also written about in the past. So it's not as if Smriti Irani was doing anything particularly wrong. What makes her more qualified right now to take on important ministries, or perhaps meatier ministries? Now, I'm not someone who believes that one ministry is less than the other. Let me clarify that. But yes, there are ministries that are associated with more prestige, and which perhaps now it's time to start again trusting Smriti Irani with. In fact, at a time when this government is tom-tomming about having 11 women ministers in its Council of Ministers, which is the highest in, I think, 17 years. The fact that except Nirmala Sitharaman, no woman minister has any of the key ministries, key portfolios, is something to also talk about. So, why people might ask what makes Smriti Irani qualified for any important ministry? What are her qualifications? Well, Harshvardhan is a doctor, and how he's handled the health ministry and the pandemic, we all know. So we know there is no real correlation between qualification and the ministries you get. You are rewarded in politics for what you bring to the table. For instance, Jyotiraditya Scindia has been given the Civil Aviation Ministry. Mind you, it's a very important ministry, particularly at a time when the divestment of Air India is on the anvil. He's been given this ministry because he brought down the Congress government in Madhya Pradesh and brought the BJP back to power. He's been rewarded for what he has got to the BJP politically. By that same logic, Smriti Irani got them Amethi, which, as I said, is a big win which the BJP can flaunt for decades to come. It's the first time the BJP managed to do that. And by that logic, she needs to be rewarded as well. Again, coming back to Jyotiraditya Scindia, what do we know of his administrative capabilities, except for the fact that he was the Minister of State in the UPA government for 2 portfolios? That's the extent of what we know. I'm not saying that Smriti Irani has changed or she'll make a better minister than she did in the last Narendra Modi government, but there is every chance that she will, because she's brought now with herself political heft, some governance experience. She's now been a minister for 7 years. That's not a short time. And she has displayed political as well as governance maturity over the last 2 years in terms of not doing anything controversial, in terms of not speaking out of turn, in terms of not shooting off her mouth or quoting any kind of row, any kind of unpleasant situation. Which is why I say Narendra Modi's ability, skills to handle human resource are a big question mark when it comes to Smriti Irani's trajectory. That tells us something. Because when she was not ready, when she was, extremely raw, extremely new, he trusted her with important portfolios. And now that she seems she could be ready, he is keeping her at the periphery. Her graph just quite doesn't add up. It's in fact all wrong, perhaps even inverted. And it's rather unfortunate for a feisty, promising leader who, if groomed the right way, if she had been sort of slowly initiated into governance and then gone up the ladder in terms of portfolios and ministries, she may have actually been a very, very promising minister. So rather unfortunate for her. She's been put in the prestigious Cabinet Committee on Political Affairs, yes. But is that enough for someone who delivered such a big win to the BJP? For someone who's, even now they brandish her when, to attack Rahul Gandhi when it comes to having to counter Rahul Gandhi, and for someone who's been a minister for 7 years? You decide that. For more, log on to our website, theprint.in, to read my column, Politrix.